Small crown, small crown. Hey guys, it's Cam with Craft and Tailored. In this episode of What Is On My Wrist, we're talking about a 1958 Rolex Submariner reference 5508 or 5508, and this is a small crown Submariner. So we've reviewed big crown subs and we've reviewed matte dial subs and gilt subs and all kinds of Submariners, but I noticed that we've never done a small crown. So we have this really nice 1958 5508 in the shop right now. It's a watch that has really caught my eye, and I figured why not give it a little wrist time and talk a little bit about the small crown sub as we've reviewed and talked about every other Submariner. So the Rolex 5508 was actually released in late 1957, early 1958. So this model in particular is kind of like an early 5508. Basically, the 5508 was also produced at the same time as the 6538 and the big crown Submariners. The main difference between them is if you look at the depth rating on a big crown has a 200-meter depth rating and a small crown has a 100-meter depth rating. So essentially, you can kind of almost think about that as like a Submariner versus a sea dweller. The big crown was almost like the professional diver's watch, whereas the small crown may have been more for like recreational divers and that kind of stuff. The other thing too is the case formatting is slightly different, and obviously the big noticeable kind of difference is the crown. The 5508s and the small crown subs, typically, you'll see 6 millimeters, and it's a twin lock crown. The thing that both the big crown subs and the small crown subs share in common is the lack of crown guard. So typical early, 50s Rolex Oyster sport case design in the fact that these precede the implementation of the crown guards. So really nice watch to wear on wrist. This specific example from 1958 is a nice example due to the fact that the dial remains in really nice condition. It's got this really nice golden brown, sandy lume color. It's a radium lume in this era as well. And the insert, unfortunately, with its normal red triangle, was replaced at some point, but it was replaced early on. This is a Mark I long 5 insert. In some cases, and in many cases, with both the 6538 big crowns as well as the 5508s and other Submariners out of the era, those inserts had a tendency to become dislodged and lost. And then obviously, a service replacement part of that era would have been, this type of insert. What's interesting is the insert on this watch has kind of this nice, almost like blue, green, gray fade to it, which frames the dial really nice. So although it's not the original insert with its red triangle, it kind of makes this watch for me. Additionally, this watch came to us and the case is really, really nice, as well as it came off of its original Oyster bracelet and wears nicely on this leather strap. I'm a big fan of the small crown Submariners. I'm a bit of a smaller, petite guy, as they like to say in français. And the case actually fits my wrist quite nicely. The lugs are a little bit longer, the case is a little bit thinner. The big crown Submariners, kind of in the same way as a sea dweller would be on my wrist, a little bit taller, a little bit beefier. It's just kind of a different wearing watch. So the Rolex small crown Submariners, including the reference 5508, are one of the most captivating value propositions currently in the vintage Rolex catalog, as they're becoming increasingly harder to find due to low original production numbers and increasingly high desirability within the vintage Rolex collector community. Accessibility to examples like this, it's getting harder for sure. I really love the case size. The lug width is 20 millimeters, providing a nice wide range of straps that you could pair with this. I think what's really fun about the 5508s and the Submariners that don't possess crown guards is they really look like that 1950s, early 1960s dive watch. I think they're the purest form of what has become an icon in among itself. So really cool watch overall. This one is available for sale on our website. They are increasing in value, but they are quite a bit less expensive than the big crown Submariner. So I think the value proposition is interesting because they're still somewhat accessible, and also a watch that wears nicely on the wrist, and that price point allows you to kind of wear the watch instead of not being able to wear it, if that makes sense. So I'll provide a link in the description below so that you guys can check this out. Thanks guys for tuning in. As always, if you've got questions, we're here and happy to help. Feel free to drop us a line at info@craftandtailored.com. If you're not doing so already, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok @craftandtailored. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. I will see you guys in the next one. See you later.
Cool.
Cool?
You like see you later or see you there?
See you later, see you there. See you there. See you there.